30 years of non-proliferation to me means that the non-proliferation regime has been successful. And I think that's something that a lot of people wouldn't have anticipated when it was first being concluded and negotiated. But clearly, it's been effective. It's been able to address a lot of challenges. And I think the work that we're able to do here in support of that regime has been an important contributor to that success.
One of the most exciting things on an ongoing basis is our ability to be real detectives when it comes to non-proliferation happenings in the world, and that we're able to do that in a way that was not possible when I first entered the field. Back in the early 2000s, if you wanted to be able to do kind of investigations into what was going on with non-proliferation, you had to be in the intelligence field. And now our staff and our students, we have these incredible new tools and technologies we're able to use so that if North Korea, for example, tests a missile or a nuclear device, or any other country does, then instead of looking to the classified realm, we get all kinds of phone calls, our experts on, well, what happened with that missile test?
We push ourselves, especially in this kind of new tool space. We're always trying to find a new technology that we can use, that we can apply in the non-proliferation sphere. We are trying to reinvent how other tools are typically used and just really trying to push the boundaries of what we can do in the open source side of research and analysis.
We at CNS are really pioneering in leading the push into using new tools and new technologies to help us do open source research and open source analysis. So this gives us a really good toolbox in order to better train and prepare the next generation of non-proliferation policy experts and the decision makers that'll ultimately be tackling these issues.
I think it's this integration of different approaches which has given us such power that we often will dominate the headlines when there are kind of new stories to be told, whether it has to do with DPRK nuclear and missile tests or nuclear accidents in Russia. We're well positioned to apply those tools to these issues.
The next 30 years are going to feature an increasing and more rapid emergence of newer technologies. Some of these technologies will be simply augmenting existing ones. Some of these may be truly new. I think where we'll see truly new is where you have things like 3D printing combined with, say, artificial intelligence. We may be seeing something very interesting coming out of that combination that we, and we, I mean sort of humankind, may not be quite ready for.
Hopefully, the research I'm doing in what is now a cutting edge field, in 30 years' time, the field itself, I think, will become a lot more mainstream, and we won't be calling technology or applications artificial intelligence, or just be technology. So hopefully the work I'm doing now within the centre, the collaboration and team working within the CNS with the analysts and the scholars at the centre, I do hope will have some legacy and some contribution to the non-proliferation field.
It's a very exciting environment. Even just walking up and down the hallways, you often hear conversations about whole ranges of different issues, people doing incredibly exciting work. So that's something I find stimulating and that makes me want to come to the office every day.
When I describe this work to family and friends who are outside of the non-proliferation realm, and I sort of describe what we do and the mission of the center, the reaction is really interesting. I mean, I'll often receive a thank you. They'll say, thank you for doing what you're doing. Thank you for making the world a safer place. And that's a great reminder when we're, stressing out over project deadlines and, trying to, deal with the day-to-day stresses of any job. To kind of hear that from time to time, that's a special benefit of working for CNS.
We want to be here. We want civilization to be here the way it is and have us not destroy ourselves. And I think that's, our job is, maybe we can't fix the problem, but we can certainly make it a lot harder for the people who are trying to use, the things that we worry about.
for the future generations, I really hope that no one is going to experience such horrific suffering, the experience by the atomic bombing survivors. So I believe that this non-proliferation education for young generation is one of the surest way to prevent any future use of nuclear weapons.
I hope that 30 years from now, the center would be on the cutting edge of efforts that would be close to elimination of nuclear weapons. I hope that as the center is working closely on biological and chemical weapons, that the threat of those type of weapons would be gone. And I hope that through the work of the center that no terrorist organization would in the next 30 years be able to get their hands on weapons of mass destruction related materials and to use this in a civilian or a military context. What the center has done for the past 30 years is to take a leading role in preventing that. And God help us if we fail to do that in the next 30 years.
Our center has a very important mission to do so. So it is my conviction that we need to continue to thrive and continue to conduct very important research and education activities.